The best of money matters. Right Business.
Welcome to The Right Business, where we dive deep into the stories of trailblazers who dare to disrupt the status quo, find the gap in the market to find the right business. Hello, I'm Hongbin Jeong. Running a service-based business is tough, whether it's a fitness studio, a pottery class, or even a calligraphy workshop. And behind the passion, there's scheduling, payments, client management, and growth to worry about. That's where Vibefam comes in. At its core, Vibefam is a growth operating system for service-based companies. And while the strongest traction has been in health and wellness with gyms, yoga, and fitness studios, the platform is also powering businesses in other service verticals like sports and even creative workshops. And to share more about how Vibefam is helping service-based businesses grow, joining us today is Serene Lim, CEO and co-founder of Vibefam. Hi, Serene. Welcome to the studio.
Hi, Hongbin. Thanks for having me here today.
Thank you so much for joining us. Well, just a background check on you here. It looks like you had some time at Urban Company, a service marketplace platform here in Singapore. And it looks like from there, you identified the issue of the services sector lagging behind in digital adoption and, being burdened by manual and fragmented operations, which led you to start Vibefam. So why did you decide to, zoom in on the health and wellness industry, and what has Vibefam set out to solve?
Yeah, I did. So when I was back in Urban Company, I was speaking to these service SMEs, cleaning companies, facilities management companies, and different verticals. It really stood out to me that they were very backward in terms of digital adoption, relying on very manual and very fragmented operations. The health and wellness sector stood out the most because they were ready for digital adoption. In fact, we got our first paying customer before our product was crystallized. So that was a very obvious signal for us. Personally, for me, I'm also very passionate about the industry. I was able to resonate very closely to the pain points. So how we fundamentally help them is to streamline their customer journey so that they can focus on doing the things that they do best and they really want to do. So we do automation of their reservations, payments, marketing engagement, and all of that would otherwise have been done very manually through spending time on WhatsApp, spending time on Excel spreadsheets, which is really what they don't want to do.
Okay. Well, I believe from this fitness studios that I've been to, they have their own kind of app where you can, book your classes. So how is Vibefam different from that? What's your biggest differentiator then?
Yeah, that's exactly what Vibefam does. So it's not obvious and oftentimes it's white labeled. So you are interacting directly with the studio, but the engine that powers it on the back end is actually Vibefam. So we are actually powering that full experience for you. We have a fully integrated back end system that the owners and the studios would actually be interacting with daily.
All right. Well, as first-time entrepreneurs, what was it like for you and your co-founders turning that initial insight into a real product then?
Yeah, I think in the early days, we made a lot of mistakes, making a lot of wrong assumptions about what our customers really wanted. It took us many months to really finally crystallize on a product that could be commercialized. And eventually, when we started getting a consistent flow of paying customers, we kind of knew that we were onto something. That was the very exciting part because now we had more confidence to build out our roadmap on the product and also scale out our sales engine.
Definitely. I mean, Vibefam looks like it has since grown from a simple booking platform into a full suite of solutions for health and wellness SMEs. When you say health and wellness SMEs, who exactly are we talking about here?
So our ideal customer segment would be fitness studios and sports academies. So we work with business owners running Pilates studios, strength gyms, even swim schools. We have customers in pottery, calligraphy, and even physiotherapy as well. So these are all services business owners that are, benefiting from our software today.
So how did your team decide which features to prioritize then? And what did you build that really clicked with your customers?
Fundamentally, I think our customers are expecting that the software helps them to save time on manual operations. We also learned over time that they value things that help them grow their business. So we tend to anchor all of our priorities around achieving these two business outcomes for them. Over time, we built a more robust prioritization framework that helps us balance customer feedback, of course, business impact, and cost of building those features. So that's really how we try to prioritize features to build on the software.
So what has been the feedback like from your, clients? I mean, you're saving them a lot of time.
Yeah, I think one of our strongest metrics in the business is really retention. So we see that, 98% retention rate on a month-on-month basis, which is a very encouraging metric for us. I think it also signifies that the product is really value adding to them and that it is really making a difference for them. We actually see a very exponential growth on the platform in their first 6 months with us. On average, they grow 50% every month on their revenues. And I think those are very strong signals that the product has a good fit for what they need and it's solving an urgent problem for them.
So when it comes to customer experiences and customers can just use that, platform by Vibefam to book their classes and, have everything scheduled out for them through the payment as well. So does that mean your clients don't really have to do anything? Can they truly be hands off, or are there factors where they do need to step in?
I think the beauty of the services sector is that it's heavily personalized. The delivery of the service is still something that needs to be done by the owners, by staff that they hire. But what Vibefam does is that we take care of everything on the back end for them. So as much as possible, we want to entrench ourselves into every part of their business workflows across marketing, payrolls, reservations, scheduling, reporting, analytics. And all of that basically empowers them with all the tools they need to really focus on what they really love, which is delivering the best customer experience they can and then offloading all of that administrative and very tedious work to us.
Definitely. I mean, we are in a digital age, so I've got to ask you, are you incorporating any AI into your platforms as well?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think we are not an AI platform fundamentally, but AI has helped to assist many of the workflows that we currently have to make them more effective, make them more productive. So some examples of how we've incorporated AI. We have an AI churn prediction. So that means that business owners can actually leverage on AI to predict some members that are on the verge of churning. We actually map their behavior to past churned members and we can give a fairly accurate prediction of who's likely to churn so that they can take the necessary actions to, recover them.
Oh, that's very interesting. Look how much AI has helped, with predicting all of these things. Looks like you expanded into things like staff payrolls as well and advanced marketing tools, so going beyond just customer experience. So what made you want to add those on as well? Some might say a booking platform is enough, so why go beyond that?
I think the mode of the company fundamentally is to be as vertically integrated as possible. So we don't want to be just like scheduling and a generic payments solution for them. We really want to entrench ourselves into every single part of their value chain so that we can really be very sticky, increase the lifetime value of our customers, and of course, multiply the value that we actually provide them. So beyond just scheduling and payments, we do payrolls, marketing automations, and all of that actually give them a peace of mind when they're running the business and makes it much easier for them to basically scale up.
Very interesting. Well, it looks like today Vibefam has clearly positioned itself as more than just a booking system, carving out space by focusing on health and wellness as SMEs and growing across Asia. So do you see yourself serving only boutique studios or do you envision expanding to larger chains as well?
Yeah, we definitely aspire to serve larger chains as well. So we are already in conversations with multi-outlet businesses, and having anchor customers with a multi-outlet use case builds very strong credibility for us. So that's definitely a direction that we are aspiring to build towards. Today, we already have customers between 1 to 10 outlets, and we are aspiring to be able to acquire customers that are more than 10, 20, 30 outlets in their outfits.
How have you adapted the platform to fit the needs of your customers and markets, especially here in Asia specifically? And how have you helped your clients grow in this region, you think?
Asia does have very unique challenges and unmet needs that we try to fulfill. So one very important example would be local payment integrations. So we actually partner with local payment partners to support payment methods that are more widely used in some of these Asian markets that we serve. So for example, in Indonesia, Philippines and Vietnam, credit card penetration is fairly low. So we work with local payment providers that can support payment methods like GCash in the Philippines, for instance. In Singapore, we do PayNow, for example. And that essentially reduces the inertia for checkout, and that improves sales conversion rates for our customers. We even do things like language localizations in Vietnam. So Vietnamese clients prefer to display their offerings in the Vietnamese language, and we can support that. And in Malaysia, we actually do integrations with the government portal to support compliance with submission of e-invoices. So I think in a nutshell, we essentially help our clients to be compliant in local markets and support sales conversions in local contexts.
Right. Right. Well, looking ahead, what big trends do you see shaping the health and wellness industry over the next few years? And how do you envision Vibefam to be at the forefront of all these trends?
Yeah, I think there are some very exciting trends that we've observed that we're quite excited to see play out over time as well. One is about consumers leaning towards more personalized, data-driven kind of wellness approaches. So things like smart wearables that could even be like AI assisted to give more personalized coaching programs, progress tracking on their health. Those are possible integrations that we could have on our platform to basically augment the overall offering on Vibefam. We see a heavier focus on recovery. A lot of conversations around recovery, longevity is no longer just about pushing on training. We see an uptake in cold plunges, wellness centers, cryotherapy, and things like that. In fact, it's growing by 10% every year in Singapore, so it's quite an interesting trend that we've observed. With community as well, like I definitely see that coming up with a lot of people leaning towards social connections at the center of experiences that they seek. So people joining run clubs to make friends, joining pickleball activities just to like meet new people. Things are more community driven, and I think that's a very encouraging trend for us because the network effect of Vibefam actually can facilitate these connections.
Right. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, Serene. But before we let you go here, I've got to ask you, what's next for Vibefam?
So we're really excited to be expanding into other verticals. So beyond health and wellness, which is where we have been pretty strong in, we're quite excited about moving into kids enrichment centers, even like personal care, beauty salons. I think these are all adjacencies that have very similar problem statements that we can solve. Also very excited to introduce embedded financing solutions to further augment value add to the overall offering for our customers.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Serene, for joining me and sharing more about Vibefam.
Pleasure's mine. Thanks for having me on the show today, Hongbin.
Thank you. That was Serene Lim, CEO and co-founder of Vibefam. This has been The Right Business with me, Hongbin Jeong.
To listen to more great interviews, download our podcasts at audio.sg or download the audio app. That's AWEDIO, audio at the App Store and Google Play.